Internet of Things, nanotechnology and healthcare, digital education and e-commerce development, the modern world stands on the threshold of large-scale changes in daily lives of people and the economy of entire regions. Even as we speak, the experts call these transformations as the fourth industrial revolution, inscribing them in consistent history of previous technological explosions. In a special program, Digital Kazakhstan, we tell about how they affect the internal processes in the Republic. And in today's release, we will talk about platform creating for investors attracting based on objects of Expo 2017 International Exhibition. Summer of Records. This is how foreign and domestic media call the period from the 10th of June to the 10th of September, when the Expo 2017 International Exhibition was held in Astana. The main pride is a figure of 4 million visitors, which is twice as much as it was originally planned by organizers. At the same time, the total visit of all objects of exhibition exceeded the mark of 30 million, which means that one tourist saw 10 pavilions on the average. Similar influx of visitors had a positive impact on the capital's image and its potential. Thus, the demand increased for local tour operator services almost by the factor of 2. New York Times newspaper included Astana on the list of the most interesting cities to visit. The National Geographic magazine awarded the capital the proud title of Cities of the Future. Our passenger traffic grew by 50% in comparison with the same period last year and amounted to about 300,000 people. These are air transportations on international directions. According to Expo 2017 official website, Kazakhstan was among the top 3 countries in terms of harmonious exhibition attendance. Therefore, every 4th resident of the country visited Astana Expo pavilions. Thus, the capital of Kazakhstan has power past such countries as Japan, Spain, and Italy. Apart from increasing the tourist attractiveness of the region, Kazakhstan's authorities strove to make Astana a major financial center along with London, Singapore, and Tokyo. This process was actively promoted by last year's paced growth of capital's business activity. Therefore, during 2016, the number of active companies in Astana grew by 2,500 units. The local executive authority generated revenues of 406 billion Kazakhstan tenge, and tax collection brought to the public treasury by 30 billion Kazakhstan tenge more than a year earlier. However, the real driver of the process was Expo 2017 exhibition. More than 140 small and medium-sized enterprises received orders for goods delivery and services in the amount of 640 billion Kazakhstan tenge. Tens of thousands of people received jobs and decent salaries. It is important that all buildings located on the territory of 174 hectares will operate after the exhibition, but in a different capacity. Therefore, the most visited object of exhibition, Nur Alem, the National Pavilion of Kazakhstan, will become the Museum of the Future. The rest of the territory will be equally divided between 3 strategically important projects, the Center for Development of Green Technologies and Investment Projects under the aegis of the United Nations, Astana International Financial Center, and the Park of IT Startups. Now we're planning what will be there. One of the proposals is an incubator for financial technologies related to both cryptocurrency and blockchain use. IBM Laboratory will also be located there. This is our joint laboratory. Moreover, Laboratory for Construction Industry Digitalization will also be located there. It is planned that AIFC, which is now customary to call as Astana International Financial Center, will become an economic hub for Central Asian countries, Trans-Caucasian republics, Eurasian Economic Union, Middle East countries, Western China territories, Mongolia, and European countries. In order to implement its activities and assurance on the part of international investments community, amendments were made to the Constitution of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Therefore, Office Administration on Financial Centers territory will be conducted exclusively in English.
90% всех мировых международных
90% of the world's international financial centers work in the system of English common law. If you take a list of major financial centers such as New York, London, Singapore, Hong Kong, then most of financial transactions take place in the system of English law.
Финансовых транзакций происходит в системе английского права.
International Exchange, Independent Financial Court, and Arbitration Center, as well as a Bureau for Continuing Vocational Education, will be established based on the AIFC, another organization which will be established by the end of the year. By the example of the International Financial Center is a specialized visa center, which is designed to simplify the foreign investors' interaction with government agencies. When any investor comes to another country, he is always dealing with visa support and registration, taxation, and many other technical issues because it is a long-term initiative for us. We want to approach this systematically. Experience of Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Singapore has been studied. AIFC's objectives are to create environment for investing in financial services, industry, capital market developing, ensuring its integration with international capital markets. AIFC also intends to develop insurance, banking, and Islamic financing markets in the country. According to preliminary forecasts, since before 2025, its creation will allow to attract investments in Kazakhstan amounting of about $40 billion. Investors should leverage not only in financial sector, but also in scientific startups, mobile application development. In this regard, the Expo showed that the world community is interested in this. There is a demand. It is noteworthy that the further use of exhibition area were considered with the involvement of wide range of public. Active talks were held with young innovators. The result of collective brainstorming was a decree on IT hub opening. Last year, the Prime Minister, Bakhtijan Sagintayev, invited to the meeting of e-commerce market-leading players. I also was invited to the meeting, and we talked about our vision of the industry, what problems we have, what needs and proposals should be done, and the Prime Minister suggested using Expo premises for the future technological park. He asked us to develop a strategy. We developed it, and now we're working on it. It is entrusted to develop the Astana International Technological Hub, which will be located on the EXPO-city territory by talented and ambitious youth who have loudly announced themselves in recent years. The head of state met some of them in the framework of the meeting on digitalization issues. The main objective of the Astana Hub project is innovative potential development of Kazakhstan, as well as startups help in their business building. In this regard, a startup team of entrepreneurs can apply for acceleration. They can take courses lasting from 3 to 9 months on the development programs. Startuppers will be provided with all necessary conditions, from training and working space to seed financing and successful entrepreneurs mentoring. If we talk more specifically, our task will be to inspire senior pupils and students to engage in technology business. In this regard, they can attend certain lectures and see online materials that we will be preparing. In its turn, the AIFC will take the obligation to support financial technological hub at the international level. In particular, it will provide support to startuppers in such areas as creation of national and regional cryptocurrencies, as well as the development in the field of blockchain technologies. We are in close contact with world-leading organizations in this area. In the nearest future, we are planning to join the leading consortium of financial technological hubs, which is called R3. It includes the world's leading banks such as the Bank of America, JP Morgan, which today are in search of appropriate solutions.
JP Morgan и многие другие, которые сегодня находятся в поиске соответствующих решений.
Almaty IT Quarter will become a blood brother of Astana Technological Hub, the presentation of which will be held in Almaty at the end of September. This high-attitude business center will bring together leading IT companies and prospective startup projects, providing them with office premises of international standard at a subsidized rate. During presentation, it was also announced the launch of Startup Kazakhstan program aimed at developing domestic and attracting foreign startups to the Republic. The project participants will receive investments of up to $100,000 and will be accelerated in the Silicon Valley. Now the most important thing is to create all necessary services here to get a good mix of residents of this IT quarter, and in fact we will get a wonderful boiling point of digital economy of Kazakhstan. International Center for Green Technologies Development, the third project, which will be located in the former exhibition pavilions, is designed to preserve and increase those ecological know-how that were presented at the Expo 2017 exhibition. The president of the country spoke about plans to create such center 2 years ago at the 70th session of the UN General Assembly. The center creation will be based on long-term strategy of capacity building with the innovative approach application and the best world practices in the transition to a green economy.
Мы видим в данном центре, что он будет заниматься по основным направлениям определенным.
In this center, we see that it will be engaged in certain key areas. It is a transformation of the analytical sector, RES development, urban planning development, smart cities. Next will be capacity building, green business development, people's capacity and awareness development in general, and the need to green standards transition.
Информированности их о необходимости перехода к зеленым стандартам.
The center's activities will be focused primarily in the Central Asian region. At the same time, it is planned to develop cooperation actively with industrialized countries of the European Union, Latin America, the United States, Russian Federation, India, and China.
Данный центр, он будет предполагать.
The center will involve transfer of technologies and adaptation, demonstration of these projects, training, consultation of stakeholders and companies that decided to adopt green standards. According to preliminary forecast, about 50 relevant acts regulating the new institution's work will be adopted on the basis of the EXPO-city before the end of 2017. Consolidation of IT, business, education, and authority is what Kazakhstan needs today. It is necessary to collect these efforts. Moreover, it is convenient to work together on one site, not separated. It is probably more effective to solve all problems that face the economy of Kazakhstan. Creation of AIFC IT Hub and the Center for Green Technologies Development is far from everyone all positive consequences of Expo International Exhibition staging in Kazakhstan. Thanks to the fact that over 25 countries and about 80 foreign ministers visited the country in the framework of the event, a number of memorandums of cooperation were concluded that favorably influenced the development of the country's investment and technological climate. The Minister of Education, Yerlan Sagadiyev, noted development prospects of this sector in his speech. Based on the data announced by the minister, representatives of 55 universities from around the world attended the exhibition. As the head of state said in his message, we can get young talents and human capital assets development through education. That is, it is necessary to develop human capital assets, and it is really necessary to invest in people. Moreover, IT technology is just an instrument. Within the frameworks of Expo 2017, the Ministry of Education held more than 100 meetings and negotiations with participating countries' representatives. 9 memorandums of cooperation were signed. High educational institutions have reached more than 20 agreements on bilateral cooperation. They signed an agreement with the University of Latvia regarding research of new promising materials. Agreement was signed with partners from Hungary, Czech Republic, and Poland regarding technology transfer in the field of electricity generation. Agreement was signed with the representatives of France and the United States regarding cooperation in the scope of development on application use based on thermoelectric materials. A list of 105 technologies has been formed. According to their specifics, they were divided into 4 directions: 27 technologies in oil and gas, 5 technologies in coal and nuclear industry, 44 technologies in electric power, energy supply and renewable energy sources, 29 technologies in the direction of ecology. At present, the ministry is collecting information on the interest of companies and local administration on these technologies. The project is very good, especially in the energy sector and regarding batteries. These are industrial batteries based on titanium. It is one of the serious directions. We also look at similar technologies, but from the point of view of our mineral resources usage. According to site managers, financial and technological cluster, which is based on EXPO 2017 objects, will create a new DNA of Kazakhstan's economy, which will become a reliable platform for 3.0 upgrading, announced in the message of the head of state earlier this year.